also seeing about Maggie. We have a new participant this week. We're really glad to have you, Maggie. And you were having difficulty with the link, and we're glad that we finally worked that out so that you could join us. I'm glad to have another participant here. This has been a lot of fun. Before we get started, Maggie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the group and to anyone that might be watching.
Well, my group has probably heard plenty about me because we all know each other. So far, the only ones I can see. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Maggie.
And Liz. And so we have participated in a meetup online. Paul and I have gone to it when it was in live, but since then it's a meetup where we get together and just cold read a play together, line by line. People, each scene we change roles and talk about it a little bit, as much as we need, and then move on. And so we've been doing that. I've been doing that for a few years with that group. So anyway, and that's how I know. Do you go by Liz, or do you have Elizabeth? Elizabeth. Okay, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe from anyway. So Elizabeth, and Elizabeth and I are in an acting class where we're going to do a scene. And so,
yes,
I used to be a high school teacher, and I foisted some Shakespeare on my students. They never seem to get it the way I think. No, if I read it right, you're going to get it. Whatever.
Okay, well, we're glad to have you. We're glad we got nice, we got a full collection with 4 people here. And we'll go ahead. So I'll go ahead and switch the view. We'll start with spinning to see who performs a monologue first. So let's see there. There's the wheel. I got our 4 names on it, and actually, I think I should change the view so that it's there. That's the way we should do it. Okay, spinning the wheels. Hugh goes first. Okay, so it looks like Paul's going to start us off again.
Okay, Paul.
And I give the players the choice. Do they want to stick to their own gender or spin the gender-neutral wheel?
you're muted, Paul.
Paul, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I'll just try the, why don't we just do the gender neutral wheel?
Okay, we'll do that.
Isn't that what we did last time, maybe?
Yeah. Okay, spinning for Paul. Okay, Hamlet. Oh, that this too solid flesh was built. Okay, give me a second. We'll give him a second to find that one. Act 1, scene loose, and then I'll remove everybody else from just put everybody else in the waiting room so that he can be better.
Can I just ask you, how are you finding these things? You just go to Folgers or someplace? Where are people finding these?
I pull it up in a different window on the computer.
But it's a different window of what? What is it that you're accessing?
I Google, that this too solid flesh.
I see.
Would
Okay,
melt.
thank you. Okay, bye. I'm gonna.
All right. Here it is. Almost there. Okay, I'm there. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't, fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion, to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer. Marry with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheaths. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Yeah, I forgot that's the one. Okay, great.
Nice.
So back to the wheel. To players' names.
What happens if you keep getting the same name?
I'm removing the ones that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Elizabeth, Maggie. Yeah, so I'm eliminating. So I just now I got it down to the 3 of us that are left.
I get it. I get it.
Left.
We used to use them in high school, but we didn't take the kids' names out because then they'd stop listening.
Yeah.
And they used to hit on the same kid a lot of times.
Okay.
Yay, Elizabeth. Okay.
Okay, so Elizabeth will go next, and we're sticking with gender neutral.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Spinning for Elizabeth.
Ooh. Oh, I love this speech.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I did it a couple weeks ago, so now we'll see a different take on that same one. For God's sake, let's sit upon the ground monologue. Okay.
Oh my God, I love this speech. Okay, hold on one second. Let me find it.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Okay.
So I'll go and remove the rest of us from the stream while Elizabeth is finding that, and as soon as she's center screen and ready to go, she can take it away.
Okay, this is a long scene. Oh, here we go. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Because I can't do both.
I can't. I want to remove myself from the stream so that you can be center stage. But when I remove anybody, including myself, from the stream, you can't hear me. So.
No problem. No matter where, of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so, For what can we bequeath, save our deposed bodies to the ground, our lands, our lives, and all our bowling books? And nothing can we call our own but death, and that small model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings, how some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed, all murdered. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of a king keeps death his court, and there the antic sits, scoffing his state and grinning at his pomp, allowing him a breath, a little scene, to monarchize, be feared, and kill with looks, infusing him with self and vain conceit, as if this flesh which walls about our life were brass impregnable, and humored thus, comes at the last, and with a little pin bores through his castle wall, and farewell, king. Cover your heads, and mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence. Throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends, subjected thus, how can you say to me, I am a king? Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is deep.
That's a great speech.
It's a great
Really,
speech.
Really a great monologue.
I think this writer shows promise.
So I've narrowed the wheel down to the two.
Between you and me, Mark.
Yeah, between us right now. We're all going to go. It's just a matter of.
I understand. I'm just joking. We're arm wrestling.
Okay, looks like Maggie will go next.
So, may I ask how long do we? Is this for 1 hour? Or how long do we do this?
However long we want to everybody that we want everybody to have a chance to both do one monologue and to perform in a scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if we have a chance to do 2 monologues, I'd like to do one that's gender unspecific, but I would like to try a female one because I'm looking for some monologues in
Okay.
and you might come up with something I've never thought about. So
That's fine. And if you, I've got time if people want to stay for a second round, and if, some people can't stay for a second round, they need to go, but you'd like to, Maggie, that's perfectly fine. I'll
okay. I can't imagine people not staying. I know these two.
Okay. So,
okay, which one do we do?
So you've requested the female.
Just for this spin.
The female monologue. Okay, so spinning for Maggie.
Oh, okay.
Lady Anne. So the foul devil. So Act 1, Scene 2. Richard III. I'll remove the rest of us from the stream. Whenever you're ready, you can start that one.
Okay. What I found is this. It starts with set down your honorable load. Is that correct?
I believe so. Like sometimes, like if there's other characters, you might need to kind of figure out where to start, or where you can just kind of skip over the stuff that other lines that people might.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I got it.
Put in and just use your judgment.
It's relatively short. Okay. Foul devil, for God's sake, hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. O gentlemen, see, see, dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deed, inhuman and unnatural, provokes this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood madest, revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drink'st, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered. And scene.
Awesome. Okay, so
Doing up the scenery there.
okay, so that just leaves me. So
Yeah.
I will. I'll spin the gender neutral wheel. Spinning for me. Oh, Mercutio.
Whoa! Yeah.
Okay, Act 1, Scene 4. Let me find that, and we'll start. Oh, then, I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies, athwart men's noses as they lie asleep, her wagon spokes made of long spiders' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her Wagner a small gray-coated gnat, not so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time out of the mind the fairies' cockmakers, and in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains. And then they dream of love, or country's knees that dream on court curtsies straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometime comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breaches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of health 5 fathom deep. And then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the efflux and foul sluttish hairs. which once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to hear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Wow, fun.
Yeah. So
I never saw that line before about how the lawyers dream of fees.
okay, so we'll go. Now we're gonna spin. We'll put all four of us back on the wheel. We'll spin two names to see who performs together in the scene, and then it's easy with four people. That just means the other two will be the partners for the next one. So let me fix this. Okay, so the first scene will be myself and Paul. So myself and Paul will do a two male scene, and then other participants will do a two female scene. Okay, so myself and Paul will do. Oh, I just mentioned it, how I broke the Othello one up. Part two. So it's when he, so we would start from when he comes, when the two women go away, and I would say, if we want to choose, why don't you be Othello and I'll be Iago for this one, for the simple reason that this includes the monologue of the farewell, the plumed troops, and so forth. I think the first time we did this, when it was just monologues, I've already performed that one for this one, so makes more sense that you can get to have that monologue, which is part of the larger scene.
And,
so
and what's the line? What does it begin with?
Okay, let me bring that up. Give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry, the computer's going slow on me right now. So it's after the first part. Now he's asked about the handkerchief and so forth. So exit Emilia. Okay, we'll take it from exit Emilia, and I'll start my thing. I will, in Cassio's lodging, lose this napkin and let him find it. And in the middle of that, it says re-enter Othello.
Okay.
And then
I will, Cassio lodging, lose this napkin.
Yeah, I'll start with that, and then you re-enter. Ha ha, false to me. Good.
Wait. The next line I show is I did say so. Oh wait, let's see. Yeah, okay, I have it. I have it. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let's see.
I've got it now.
All right. I will, in Cassio's lodging, lose this napkin and let him find it. Trifles light as air are to the jealous confirmations strong as proofs of holy writ. This may do something. The more already changes with my poison. Dangerous conceits are in their natures poisons, which at the first are scarce found to distaste. but with a little act upon the blood, burn like the mines of sulphur. I did say so. Look, where he comes. Not poppy, nor mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to the sweet sleep which thou owedst yesterday.
False to me?
Why, how now, General? No more of that.
Avaunt! Begone! Thou hast set me on the rack. I swear 'tis better to be much abused than but to know a little.
Oh, how now, my lord?
What sense had I of her stolen hours of lust? I saw it not, thought it not, it harmed not me. I slept the next night well, fed well, was free and merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen, let him not note, and he's not robbed at all.
I am sorry to hear this.
I had been happy if the general camp, pioneers and all, had tasted her sweet body, so I had nothing known. Oh, now forever, farewell the tranquil mind, farewell content, farewell the plumed troops and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell. Farewell the neighing steed and the shrill trump, the spirit-stirring drum, ear-piercing fife, the royal banner and all quality, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. And oh, you mortal engines, whose rude throats the mortal Jove's dread clamors counterfeit. Farewell, Othello's occupation's gone.
Is possible, my lord.
Villain, be sure thou prove my love a whore. Be sure of it. Give me the ocular proof, or by the worth of mine eternal soul, thou hadst been better, have been born a dog, than answer my waking wrath.
Is come to this.
Make me to see it, or at the least so prove it that the probation bear no hinge nor loop to hang a doubt on, or woe upon thy life.
My noble lord.
If thou dost slander her and torture me, never pray more. Abandon all remorse. On honor's head horrors accumulate. Do deeds to make heaven weep, all earth amazed. For nothing canst thou to damnation add greater than that.
Grace. Oh, heaven forgive me. Are you a man? Have you a soul or sense? God be with you. Take mine office. O wretched fool that lives to make thine honesty a vice. O monstrous world, take note, O world, to be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for this profit, and from hence I love no friend, sith love breeds such offense.
Nay, stay, thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honesty's a fool, and loses that it works for.
By the world, I think my wife be honest, and think she is not. I think that thou art just, and think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Her name, that was as fresh as Dian's visage, is now begrimed and black as mine own face. If there be cords or knives, poison or fire or suffocation streams, I'll not endure it. Would I were satisfied.
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied?
Would? Nay, and I will.
And may. But how? How satisfied, my lord, would you, the supervisor, grossly gape on? Behold her topped?
Death and damnation! Oh!
It were a tedious difficulty, I think, to bring them to that prospect. Damn them, then, if ever mortal eyes do see them bolster more than their own. What then? How then? What shall I say? Where's satisfaction? It is impossible you should see this. Were they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves in pride, and fools as gross as ignorance made drunk? But yet, I say, if imputation and strong circumstances which lead directly to the door of truth will give you satisfaction, you may have it.
Give me a living reason she's disloyal.
I do not like the office, but sith I entered in the cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose of soul that in their sleeps will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary, let us hide our loves." And then, sir, would he grip and wring my hand, cry, "Oh, sweet creature," and then kiss me hard, as if he plucked up kisses by the roots that grew upon my lips. Then laid his leg over my thigh and sighed and kissed, and then cried, "Cursed fate that gave thee to the moor."
Oh, monstrous! Monstrous!
Nay, this was but his dream.
This denoted a foregone conclusion. 'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream.
And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, but be wise. Yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
I know not that. But such a handkerchief, I am sure it was your wife's, did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with.
If it be that.
If it be that, or any that was hers, speaks against her with the other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives. One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now do I see 'tis true. Look here, Iago, all my fond love thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise black vengeance from the hollow hell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne to tyrannous hate. Swell bosom with thy fraught, for 'tis of aspects tongues.
Yet be content.
Oh, blood, blood, blood!
Patience, I say. Your mind perhaps may change.
Never, Iago, like to the Pontic Sea, whose icy currents and compulsive course ne'er feels retired ebb, but keeps due unto Propontic and the Hellespont. Even so my bloody thoughts with violent pace shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that a capable and wide revenge swallow them up. Now by yond marble heaven in the due reverence of a sacred vow. I here engage my words.
Do not rise yet. Witness, you ever-burning lights above, you elements that clip us round about, witness that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit. Hands, heart, to wronged Othello's service. Let him command, and to obey shall be in me remorse. What bloody business ever?
I greet thy love, not with vain thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instant put thee to it. Within these 3 days let me hear thee say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done at your request. But let her live.
Damn her, lewd minx! Oh, damn her, damn her! Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death. For the fair devil, now art thou my lieutenant.
I am your own forever. Okay,
Well,
that was a lot of fun. And I-
Wow, that was a doozy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I forgot how nasty he was.
yeah.
I mean, he's willing for things to get so bad. That's way beyond revenge.
Terrible what he does to
Yeah.
Yeah.
fellow.
Because it's Cassio he hates, right? And it's like he makes everybody suffer over it. Okay, whatever. Shut up.
He hates them. That's it. He hates them both, and he's going to get.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
He's going to get even with them both in the same.
At
process.
her expense too. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, leave her out of it, would you?
Well, it's implied. You know, the idea with the fact that Iago is so obsessed with sex and everything is sexual with him is it doesn't say it, but I like I've always thought that it's implied. The idea is when he says that I'll make the net that shall enmesh them all. I think he means all three of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I suspect that they don't mention it, but I think a large part of it also is that Iago
Had the hots for it.
yeah, that he had the hots for her as well, and she turned him down, and so he hates her too. He hates all three of them, and this is the way he's gonna hurt them all. Okay, so
are we doing girls?
yeah, so now the girls will go. So here is
Watch us get Reagan and Goneril.
yeah.
That would be funny. We're already playing that.
So we're spinning for the one that Elizabeth and Maggie will do together. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Which one is it? Hero and Ursula. Much Ado About Nothing. Act 3.
Wait, I got the wrong one.
I believe this is before the wedding, or
Hero and Ursula.
oh no, I think this is the one where they're speaking in the garden deliberately for Beatrice to overhear. Yeah.
What's the act and scene?
Act 3, Scene 1. So yeah, I believe this is the scene where they're deliberately being overheard. I think it would start with, "Are you sure?"
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground. We can start with, or now Ursula, when Beatrice doth come.
Do either have a preference? Who wants to be Hero? Who wants to be Ursula?
I don't care.
I'll be Hero.
Okay, so Elizabeth is Hero, and so before I remove just to put the two of you in
Maggie,
it.
And we'll leave Margaret's left out, so we'll just start from the beginning, or start from now Ursula.
Now Ursula.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or just leave Margaret out. Okay, we'll start with now Ursula. Okay. Are you ready, Maggie?
Sure.
Okay. Now, Ursula, When Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin. For look, where Beatrice, like a lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So we angle for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear not as my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they love Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
O God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew of his love, lest she make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why nature, drawing of an antique, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate, very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedick, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted, my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's blind, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps. I forgot. That's such a fun scene. I forgot about that
really
scene.
Is.
You might be able to even do it without a Beatrice. I think the fun is seeing Beatrice hearing them, though.
Yes, that's true.
Seeing their voices and her reaction always adds something. I just love that one. I mean, it's my far and away my favorite of the comedies.
Did anybody here see the Globe a few years ago? They did it. I mean, the festival stage, and it was really funny. It was so good. They had, I mean, they probably do this in lots of them, but they had Beatrice, diving behind this and that and and she kept moving around. And
when we did it at the Attic Theater in Santa Ana, we had Beatrice was sneaking up and down the aisles to the audience.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
that was where she was overhearing it. Okay, so she mixed in the audience. That was an interesting way our director had that one done.
Cool.
So we've all performed both a monologue and a scene. Maggie expressed the interest in going again. I mean, I don't, and we actually have people watching us now. I don't know if you guys can see from here, but we are getting some comments and so forth in the live chat and so forth.
I can't see that.
Funny that Bill is the one that couldn't make it today, but he was the one that expressed a concern a couple weeks ago. Is anybody actually watching live? Well, we got some live viewers right now, and that's great. So I understand if people have to go, but if we
unfortunately I have to leave. But
if the other people would like another round,
you want to do another round, Elizabeth?
Can we just do monologues maybe and not scenes?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, just a monologue. Just a monologue.
See you guys next week.
Good seeing you.
Bye, Paul.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you next week, Paul. And the three of us will just do one more monologue before we call it a day. But
Thanks, Mark.
Bye.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Okay.
Bye, Elizabeth. Bye, Maggie.
Bye, Paul.
Paul. See you again.
Okay. So let's go ahead. I'll remove Paul from this. Okay. So gender neutral again?
Yeah, because I think I've done a lot of female monologues, so something new.
Here we go. When that happens, you have the option of saying, well, we've already seen that one.
Yeah,
so
we've already seen. No, I don't want to do that again.
Or you can actually. Okay, got it. We'll spin again.
Oh.
Once more into the breach. Awesome.
Oh my god. Okay.
That brings me on to the whole scene.
Wow. Just give me a second. Oh my gosh, this is so long. Okay. You ready? Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portage of the head like a brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth a galled rock, or hang and juddy his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now, set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide. Hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, on, you noblest English, whose blood is fet from fathers of war proof. Fathers, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood and teach them how to war. And you, good yeomen, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
Hey. Oh, just as you finished, it looks like we lost Maggie.
Oh no!
I don't know if she was trying to. I don't know if she was trying to come back in because it was like right when you finished. Well, maybe she'll try to re-enter. Oh, yeah, here she's back.
Sorry, I was trying to close the other window and I ended up closing this one.
That's what I thought happened. We were saying, "Oh no, we lost you." I said, the fact that you disappeared.
I'm back.
He was finishing.
My God,
you were trying to do something, come back in, and instead you shut yourself off. So we're glad that we didn't lose you.
Yeah.
So,
that speech is a workout. My God.
Yeah.
You need to be like doing a lot of breath work to do that.
Yeah, I need a lot of practice with that.
Okay, so you and me, Maggie, to see who goes next. Okay, it looks like I'm going.
Okay.
So
gender neutral.
Okay. Okay, spinning for Maggie. Oh my God, we keep spinning.
I know these random things often fall on the same thing.
When there's so many on the wheel, the odds.
Yeah, it used to happen that way in school all the time. I couldn't believe some of the same kids.
You have the option of saying, "Well, I'm gonna try this myself differently," or you can just spin again. It's your choice.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that a man's came up. I almost thought I should just say, just pick me a man's. And so.
Yeah, so he said a man did it. Now a woman will do the same. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So it's Act 1, Scene 2, about 100 lines or so in.
Okay. All right, got it. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon 'gainst self-slaughter. Oh, God, God. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it. Fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2, so excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month, oh, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. O most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets! It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Okay.
That's a fun one.
So that leaves me for the final
Here we go.
performance. And sticking with gender neutral. Oh my gosh, landing on the same one that I performed.
That's amazing.
That's not going to work. Cool.
It's like a weighted wheel.
Yeah. I think the mafia is controlling this one. Constant. Okay, finds brother. Okay, I see. From Richard II, Act 1, Scene 2. About the murder of her husband and speaking to one of the other sons of Edward III. That great. Okay. Finds brotherhood in thee no sharper spur? Hath love in thy old blood no living fire? Edward's 7 sons, whereof thyself art one, were as 7 vials of his sacred blood, or 7 fair branches springing from one root. Some of these 7 are dried by nature's course, some of those branches by the destiny's cut. But Thomas, my dear Lord, my life, my Gloucester, one vial full of Edward's sacred blood, one flourishing branch of his most royal root is cracked, and all the precious liquor spilt is hacked down, and his summer leaves all faded. By envy's hand and murder's bloody axe, ah, Gaunt, his blood was thine. That bed, that womb, that metal, that self-mold, that fashioned thee, made him a man. And though thou livest and breathest, yet art thou slain in him. Thou dost consent in some large measure to thy father's death, in that thou seest thy wretched brother die, who was the model of thy father's life. Call it not patience, Gaunt. It is despair. In suffering thus thy brother to be slaughtered, thou showedst the naked pathway to thy life, teaching stern murder how to butcher thee. That which in mean men we in little patience is pale, cold cowardice in noble breasts. What shall I say? to safeguard thine own life, the best way is to venge my Gloucester's death.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a neat one. I'm cutting and pasting that one.
Maggie, I thought of another good one for you that you should do. Have you looked at Volumnia from Coriolanus, his mother?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I talked about that with my coach, but I think I've actually decided to go with Margaret from Richard III. But okay. Yeah, that's a very good one too. She kind of sounded me out and said, she goes, I can see you as Margaret, and it's really important if you're doing auditions that you make it really easy for the casting person to be able to see you. But she liked that other one too. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, and the other thing is that this is an obscure one. It's a great one. It's a good one, but it's often overlooked because the history plays in general, except for Richard III, and Henry V, are so easily forgotten, which is a shame.
It is.
It makes it hard for people to follow. But this monologue, again, people that don't know the history of Edward's 7 sons and so forth, that it really explains it. The widow of one of them that was murdered and so forth.
Yeah, we our little group is reading. We started reading the histories. Well, anyway, and I'm just like, I thought that I thought that they were going to be rather plodding or something, but they're not at all. They've got great stuff in them, great interchanges and speeches and all kinds of stuff. It's nice to know some unusual ones too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that came up. Thank you.
There's also a really cool part in, I think it's Henry VI Part 1, where they're in France and John Talbot, this woman, I think it's called the Duchess. I can look for it and send it to you. I assigned it to a girl and it's really cool. She actually tries to seduce John Talbot, thinking I'm going to conquer him by distracting him. And then he shows up with like this army. And in the speech, she's like, yeah, come on in, hang out for a while. And then she's like, oh, sir, sorry. Like in the speech, she actually goes from thinking she's on the top status to being like begging and pleading for her life. Oh. And that would be a cool one for you.
Oh, yeah.
Duchess of Auvergne.
Okay.
The Duchess of Auvergne in Henry VI Part 1. I gave it to a student once, and we made it so super active, where she was literally like, "Come on in, have a drink," and then she went down on her knees like, "Oh, I see you showed up with your army, Dreadlord," like in the speech.
Yeah,
that's a really cool thing.
Those anytime there's a flip.
The history plays are such a good source of good speeches that people might that might. If you're looking for something new, because Shakespearean monologues are so expository, and they explain themselves, even if the play is rarely performed because people don't know the history behind it. You can still follow the gist of the monologues, and the monologues they have a lot of buried treasures within the obscure history plays. Speaking of which, of the Henry VI trilogy, I don't know if I mentioned this a few weeks ago. There's another group. One of the Facebook pages, the No Sweat Shakespeare group. Actually, it's not them that puts it on, but it was there that Vincent. I can't remember the name of his group. He's invited me to be part of that. They do Zoom performances every other Sunday.
Sunday. Sunday's a day that everybody likes to do these things. I guess.
Yeah. So we did. He invited me to participate in it a couple weeks ago. They did part 1 of Henry VI, and they're doing part 2 tomorrow. And I have a few. We're doing that reading, and he's doing it on Zoom. He put his link to it in that No Sweat Shakespeare group. And I asked him if he minded if I streamed it to YouTube, because he said he doesn't have a way to keep it. Anybody that isn't watching it live. So I asked him if he was okay with me linking it so that you can watch it on Zoom. You can also watch it on YouTube. So I'll do that. It would be he's on the East Coast, so he says 3:30, so it would be 12:30 our time. So just thought I'd mention that to you guys. And anybody else watching, that's
Thank you.
something else that
Thank you. Yeah.
can see.
Yeah. Anytime we can at least know what the options are, I appreciate it.
And you probably find, if you'd like to actually, well, it's probably too late for him to put you in it, but
we actually I have a session tomorrow from 1 to 3.
Okay, but I still I'd mention it, and if you're interested, I'm sure he would be willing to put you in it in the future.
God, yeah.
Maybe that's what every 2
Yeah, I think every single time I do one of these, I learn something. I learn something from this. I learn from all the reading. I'm in so many different. The thing with San Diego, because I care so much about being the best teacher I can be, and to be putting myself in the shoes of actually rehearsing and actually speaking. I'm much kinder, much more patient with my students, because it's hard. It's really hard. And I really love the spinning wheel. I was just saying to Mark before you got on, Maggie, that at the end of the year, I could see my kids being more open to trying. But right now, students, some of them struggle. Some of them struggle with the remote learning, and some have reading issues. So maybe next semester when they get a little bit more, and then I can say to them, could you ever imagine that you were just jumping into cold reading Shakespeare? It's the more you
have
do
shorter
it, the
ones for them. To start with shorter things. Yeah. There's a lot that can happen second semester in classes that can't first.
It'd be great if you could bring your students in, get more members. You've already been good in bringing in additional members of our group, but that'd be great if we get.
You know what? That's a great idea. I should. I have some, because I teach sophomores, high school sophomores, but there's some seniors who are amazing, and this would be great practice for them, especially because they've got the college auditions coming up. I never thought of that. I should. There's a couple of seniors that I should absolutely write to and invite them.
Great idea.
Really good. I directed 12th Night at Loxa, and there's this girl who played Festi who is amazing, and a couple of other who are really, really strong. I'll definitely send an email to them. Cool.
Thank you very much, Mark. This is a great public service. And thanks
Isn't it fun?
A lot of fun. I'm glad that you joined us. I hope you'll join us.
I hope yes. My plan is, I don't have anything else going on Saturday, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I hope our audience comes back. We had some good, unusual amount of comments in the live chat indicating that there were people watching us live and so forth, and even if they don't watch us live, they can see it posts as a video to YouTube, but they can watch us later. I hope they will. I hope the people that were watching that enjoyed will subscribe to this channel, so they can tune in. We do it every Saturday, same time.
How would I have seen that? Would I have had to log in, or? Because when I look on the site, it just has a column that says private chat and comments, and
I don't think we can
see
there.
Maybe
I
it's
don't
better.
think we can see.
Okay,
we can't see it at the same time.
I think if you're looking at it on YouTube, I have another tab open to see how it looks.
I see.
People who are just watching on YouTube, and I can see the comments there too. I'm doing it I was just keeping it open so that I could make sure that our audience is able to see.
Yeah, and hear and all that. That's great. Thank you. Thanks for being adept at this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see each other. I'll see you tomorrow and see you next week, Mark.
See you guys next Saturday.
Bye-bye.
Bye. It's been a lot of fun.